Nothing's so-called flagship killer narrative is starting to crumble under the weight of its own hype. Despite repeated teases and overproduced YouTube clips, the Nothing Phone 3 seems less like a revolution and more like a recycled shell dressed up with buzzwords. Leaks from Nothing fans on X show a supposedly upgraded side frame, polished and metallic. But polishing the sides doesn't make the core product premium. CEO Carl Pei's latest proclamation that this is their first true flagship only raises questions. What exactly were the last two models then? This supposed upgrade conveniently coincides with a price hike to around £800, dragging the brand away from its initial promise of minimalist affordability and pushing it into a territory already dominated by vastly more capable players like Samsung and Apple. The hardware changes, as expected, are mostly surface-level tweaks. The dual-camera setup remains, signaling no real innovation in imaging. Even the much-hyped Glyph Interface, once a standout feature, is now rumored to be removed entirely for a so-called customizable dot matrix display, which hasn't even been confirmed. But the confusion doesn't end there. Flipkart's listing of the phone 3 still shows the familiar dual-camera setup with glyph lighting, either a lazy placeholder or a sign that Nothing has no clue what message it's sending. The disconnect between official teasers and actual product pages suggests either a last-minute design switch or a company struggling to stick to a vision. And when it comes to performance, the phone is rumored to pack a Snapdragon 8 series chip, most likely the older Gen 2, not even Qualcomm's latest. That's already a red flag for a device calling itself a flagship in 2025. Sure, it's better than last year's 8 Plus Gen 1, but when competitors are moving to Gen 3 or custom silicon, this doesn't scream premium. The camera system isn't breaking new ground either. Improvements are expected, but that's every phone launch. There's no mention of periscope zoom or real optical advancements. Just more AI photo tweaks, yet again. The software is perhaps the only space where Nothing has some credibility. Nothing OS 3.0, built on Android 15, is said to bring a cleaner interface and better battery optimization. But then again, that's the bare minimum we expect from any modern Android skin. The company touts this as a premium ecosystem experience, yet it feels half-baked when paired with hardware that's barely catching up. The same goes for the display, 6.7-inch AMOLED with a 120 Hz refresh rate and a 5,000 mAh battery. Solid specs, but nothing revolutionary, exactly what dozens of other Android phones already offer. July 1st may be the official unveiling date, but it's already clear what Nothing is selling: style over substance. The Phone 3 is expected to start at $799 for the base 12GB RAM and 256GB variant, with a higher-end 16GB 512GB model likely hitting $899. At that price range, this phone is walking into a battlefield dominated by Samsung, Google, and even Apple, brands that offer much more for the same money. Unless Nothing surprises us with something not already leaked, the Phone 3 risks being just another overpriced promise in a market already full of them.